It's time that we take a look at the PTS patch notes and overreact. Yay! Yes, the new PTS patch notes, version 3.0.2 are out, and we're going to be reading here live on stream, just because people want to look at this stuff here. So, let's get ourselves started here. Yay! Okay, so 3.0.2. Patch notes, all this other good stuff here that we've been waiting for. Crafting economy, we don't care about. You know, fixes the issues here, you don't care about it because this stuff is only on PTS anyways. So it means that they've been listening to our testing here on PTS, but necessarily, it's not necessarily going to affect you on live anyways. Alliance War, Battlegrounds, fixed issue we cannot be earn medals. Remove medals for killing 5. So they're adjusting the rules of Battlegrounds here and achievements as well. Audio, continue to add music and special moments throughout Vanderfall. Fixes the voice acting. Yep. There's a lot. If I'll be able to show some of the Morrowind stuff a little bit later, but yeah, some of the voice actor stuff just wasn't in place, so they're adding more of it as we go along. So now, big changes. Warden. Animal companions. Dive. This ability is more so now have damage icon in the tooltip header. Okay. Wild Guardian, Feral Guardian. Fixing an issue with the morphs causing crushing swipe was dealing magical damage instead of physical damage. Okay, that's good. Green Balance, corrupting pollen. Healing seed morph. Fixing an issue with this morph was pulling enemies out of sneak and invisibility. Okay. Nightblade should be happy. Fungal Growth. The ability and its morphs now have a healer icon in their tooltip header. Alright. Lotus Flower. Fixed an issue with his ability as morphs where would heal every tick of lightning or restoration staff heavy attack. That's very good there. Maturation. The passive of this ability now grants minor toughness while healing yourself and an ally with any heal instead of only with green balance healing. Not great, but I could see why maybe. Okay, so the developer's comments on this. This change was originally intended to be paired with a duration reduction in the last PTS patch, allowing wardens to trigger a passive proc on any heal given to give more flexibility to the healing ability choices, and adds in a global passive to the skill lines. I guess. Not sure if this is great or not, but I won't say it's good or bad. It's only minor on this, and it doesn't really present that much of an overstack build in my opinion. Secluded Grove, the tree visuals, this ability created by this ability and its morphs are now being called in your camera clips. Called if your camera clips into them. Okay, that's basically bug fix. Soothing spores, fungal growth morph. Fixing an issue with his heal as morph is critically striking based on your spell critical instead of your weapon critical. Okay. And that's it for the Warden here. Notice there's not a whole lot of changes here. I was hoping there was going to be either something this week, but it may be until next week that we see some major changes there. Fixed issues. Mainly with the other stuff here. Dungeons and group content, Hollow Fabrication. They're making a bunch of adjustments to the new trial. You can take a look at all this stuff here. I won't give you spoilers on this right now. You'll be able to take a look at that closer to release, I'm pretty sure anyways. Exploration and itemization. Fix issues with ancestral tombs. In case you get more items intended from urns of the Forgotten Waste. Built up on racial red plume quill. Made minor adjustments to certain books you find in bookshelves in Vanderfall. Fixed an issue where these troves were not accessible. Achievement furnishings, mementos, personalities. Adjusted several emos in the Tavani personality. Okay. Item sets. Changed the overall style and the drop for the sets available in Vanderfall. Okay, so nothing big there. Defiler. Fixed the issue with the set could critically strike when heals instead of critically strikes when damage or with damage. Okay, housing. Quests, quests and zones, general, fix the location stabilized on Balamora, Shadow Supplier and Vivek. Again, more Vanderfall stuff right now. Quests, All Vanderfall based as well. Type in a mail system would require Morrowind Collector's Edition, Battlegrounds, Gamepad mode, UI. Supplier now appears on your map once you've unlocked supplier passive. Okay. Correcting risk. Corrected the mismatching between the journal text and task summary. Lore Crash Trial. The Senate from the fight against Rakan now spawned incorrectly. So they fixed that. Ma will now drop Khajiit furnishing plans more often than any other plans because Ma of Larkaj is a Khajiit town. Alright. Art and animation. Senate mounts will now properly animate when the inverse schematics is enabled. Okay. Combat and gameplay. Fishing issue where your stamina recovery would not pause while holding sprint and not moving. Stamina is still only drained while you're moving. Okay. The monsters summon summon shade ability. The Maw of the Infernal item set will now respond to pet commands and will change targets when you use heavy attack. Oh, nice. So they're basically making it so some of you guys have been complaining previously about pets not like obeying its kind of a kludgy system with it. But basically using the heavy attack system, you can have your pets attack whoever you heavy attack. Fishing issue, the NPCs will always detect you when you're sneaking around them. Okay, Nightblade. Assassination. Deathstroke. Fixed an issue where this ability Soul Harvest Morph was being mitigated off of physical resistance instead of spell resistance. Alright, that's good to hear. Siphoning. Leeching Strikes. This morph now restores less stamina per light and heavy attack, but now restores a significant amount of stamina when the effect ends. Siphoning attacks. This morph now restores less magicka per light and heavy attack, but now restores a significant amount of magicka when the effect ends. Siphoning Strikes reduced the cost of the ability and its morphs by approximately 50%. Comments? With the overall resources restored of the Siphoning Strikes, the abilities and the morphs should remain the same. These changes make the abilities more consistent and convenient for all Nightblades. They now take fewer attacks to recoup the cost and can be activated with near empty resources. Also makes it more effective for those who are not good at light attacks and desirable for tanks and healers who have to spend more time blocking or healing. Okay, yeah. I do agree with this change here. Siphoning did get a major hit, and this kind of pushes it back up into a better spot for them, especially for casuals who may not have the best animation canceling. So hopefully that's going to be appreciated a little bit. Probably not, though. People are still going to complain, but it's something at least. Sorks! Yay! We finally see Sork nerfs. And what is it? Dark Magic Crystal Frags. Reduce the damage bonus for this morph's instacast proc from 10% from 20%. Source sustained damage in PvE is burst damage in PvP are currently too high, so we reduce the damage from Crystal Frags to bring them down slightly in both areas without being too punishing to the overall damage kit. I can agree with it. Only issue I kind of have still with Crystal Frags is it's definitely a burst meta for PvP. And it's also a good CC. I feel like it's like a little bit like Stonefist for DKs, but a lot stronger. I don't know. It's good on the damage here. I feel like it needs a little bit more uniqueness if they're going to do this, but I can get behind it, I guess. Stormcrawling, Bolt Escape. Fixed an issue with his abilities and its morphs fail to function in some locations. Doesn't say it's fully fixed, and it doesn't say that you're not going to get stuck, but hopefully it's going to be a lot less. Templar. Aedric Spear. Okay, so here comes the Templar stuff. This morph now increases the damage over time by approximately 30% as a morph effect. Lumina Shards. The morph now causes a synergy to always restore magicka and stamina. It restores the current value of magicka or stamina to your highest maximum and half of the value of the opposite resource. Oh, okay. Spear Shards. This ability and Luminous Shards morph no longer disorient enemies. It also deals moderate additional damage over time after the spear lands. Developer comments. 3 main goals behind this are just let me summarize here. Basically, they're giving more damage to the shards while also giving it a little bit more restoration than, say, Necrotic Orb, which they just gave a buff to. So Templars are basically are still doing more. They're still giving back more resources using spears than you would with the Necrotic Orb. So now Necrotic Orb is kind of the lesser of the restores. However, you can still use those on other classes, and this ability here basically replaces that tool over onto the Templar because it's better in general. Also gives a bit more damage on top of it, and removes the Disorient. Now, the Disorient is kind of controversial because they removed the Disorient previously, and a lot of people had issues because it was a main crowd control ability. Then they kind of made it a random thing here. Top of that, when they used it with other things here, it mentions here like Burning Light, it was giving a free CC to the enemy without even having to use it. So, is it good? Is it bad? I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I think it improves it in certain ways there, and I think it brings it. It's still not as good as it used to be. However, given that the fact that this patch is resource management based, I could see where the Templar would be way too overpowered as it used to be. So, good and bad. I think this makes it a little bit better, and I think it still makes it the top meta for getting your resources back, at least for right now. Piercing Javelin. Increase the knockback range of this ability in its morphs to 8 meters from 5 meters. So yeah, this is going to be a great way to toss people off of keep walls, and especially off bridges as well. So enjoy this ability. I'm pretty sure people are going to get annoyed with this the first week they go into PvP with it. For 8 meters, yeah, that is a absurd amount of distance right there. All right, Dawn's Wrath. Backlash. Fiction issue with the final damage dealt by this ability as Morse was not respecting its damage limit and was used against damage shields. Okay. Rust Ceremony. Fixed an issue with this ability as Morse would occasionally not display their full animation. All right. Weapon. Destruction Staff. Trifocus. Magic builds. Hold on here. The passive splash damage with lightning staffs is no longer increased by damage modifiers. Okay, so you're already getting a bit more damage with the lightning staff heavy attacks, and it was getting other damage modifiers on top of that as well, which made it like absurdly overpowered. So with this change here, kind of puts it down in levels of field a little bit better for magic builds versus basically anyone that is using a lightning staff versus everyone else. So it doesn't seem to be too bad in my opinion, but min-maxers will probably be complaining about that one as well. Fighters Guild, Dawnbreaker, fixing issue with this ability is Morse. We're being mitigated by this target spell resistance instead of their physical resistance. Good to hear on that. Champion system, fixing issue with the champion passive was not functioning. It's spell erosion. The ritual piercing fixing issue of the champion passive was not functioning. So yeah, piercing not working. That was probably a huge hit to certain DPS builds. Crafting economy, crafting writs, fixing issue with prevent your crafting writs from being completed. Furniture crafting, provisioning, fixing issue with prevented visual effects from displaying when you consumed a certain drink. Crown store, crown crates. Yep, these are coming up. I don't know why they put crown crates in here because we can't test them on PTS, but whatever. Exploring the customization, fixing issue with undaunted trophies were not completely localized into the support languages. Item sets, Storm Master fixing issue with the item set proc could stack. Good to hear that's not going to be a problem anymore. Housing, correcting several issues. Miscellaneous, fixing issue of visual effects would not be displaying or take a long time to display. Fixing issue where the highest resolution versions of the environment textures were taking a long time to load. Quests and dungeons. Shoal Servant in Cold Harbor, General, Wayrest. UI, General, add an error message when you travel to another player in Morrowind, but do not have access to the Morrowind content. Fixing issue with the center message that displays the end of the duel will not properly display. Fixing issue with the vendor exclusively selling furnishings could appear to have nothing for sale. I've seen that. Fixed an issue where a target area of the rotating character and character creation scheme was not directly over your character. Alright, whatever. Remove the UI error that happens with 64 megabit of UI memory usage. Okay, good to see that. Alliance War. Fix the issue where the keep information in the panel could get stuck on your screen after leaving Citadel. Not that big of a deal. Bank. Fix the issue where you could still add additional items to overflow bank under certain circumstances. Okay. Add a UI tutorial when your bank is filled beyond capacity. The tutorial of the bank now comes with becoming full. Now appears the moment your bank becomes full instead of waiting for you to exit UI bank. Reason for the bank changes here as well is probably because that they're adding in the double inventory system with ESO Plus in Morrowind. So if you let your subscription run out, basically, those extra items are still going to sit in your bank until you finally remove them. Collections. Yep. Crown Store. Enter the Crown Store now to dismount you and stealth you due to the number of scenarios that could break their preview function. Alright. Gameplay healing values in the tooltip abilities now include the bonus received from the power trait. Okay, so power trait wasn't in the calculation before, but now it is. Alright, interesting, guys. So that is the Morrowind version 3.0.2 patch notes. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Be back to you with more stuff in the future as well as these patch notes come in. I am hoping to see some major changes coming up the next few weeks. Again, next week or the week after, I'm expecting that the feedback from the first round of changes is going to come back, and a lot of changes are going to come down the pike after that. Expect probably some Sork nerfs, expect some Warden nerfs, expect a little bit more rebalancing, and all that good stuff. Alright, guys. I'll catch you later. See you in Tamriel. And done. And, guys, that is the end of the stream tonight here.